Good evening, Raskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing alright, because it's time for another Abnormals video this week. Yes, so literally just yesterday we had Valentine's, which you can see right here. Of course, we already mentioned this. Because the Valentines appeared on Wednesday last week, they of course appeared, Tuesday rolling into Wednesday. But of course, last week we still got some skins being accepted. We have 4 Abnormals to chase after today. That being the Black Gold Jacket, the Thundergold AK47, the Polished Obsidian Furnace, and of course Happy Condor. We're going to go ahead, try and figure out prices, what we might want to offer for each of them. We're going to discuss all the nice context in regards to, are there positives, are there negatives, how might we want to approach these, and what might be a decent price. So try your best to absorb in all the information, learn from how I'm looking at these skins, and you independently might be able to do it yourself. So shall we jump in? But before we do anything, you're probably looking at me and thinking, what's an abnormal skin? Well, let me just briefly explain everything. So basically every single week certain skins have a special quality to them in which they are going to appear at a set time before the rust store even rotates. That would be midnight UK time, Wednesday rolling into Thursday morning. So we have just over an hour to go over all of these. If it still doesn't fully make sense to you, look in the description of this video right now. You'll see 2 videos are provided. There is a 60-second short video which briefly goes over everything and showcases to you what happens. But if you want to go a little bit more in depth, understand how to identify these skins properly and whatnot, look at the second video. It's about 20 minutes long, but you'll understand everything and you'll get a good grasp in regards to why we chase after these skins. In short, we're trying to make a profit. We're trying to be the fastest people to put down a buy order on a brand new skin that's just become marketable. If we offer a reasonable enough price, we'll pick them up for that price, and we'll very likely be able to sell them for a much better price, aka sweet, delicious looking profit. It's as simple as that. Alright then, cool. So with that, shall we jump in now and start discussing what are we going to want to offer for the likes of this Black Gold Jacket? So when I first looked at that, I thought, oh wow, cool, yeah, so we basically got a continuation for the Black Gold collection. Now the Black Gold collection, it already has all its core pieces. You got the tier 2 here, you got the tier 3, and of course you got the hoodie and pants. Now on average, all those core pieces, they did over 20,000 sales. That Black Gold Jacket has barely reached 14,000 bare minimum sales. There is a significant difference there, isn't there? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So jackets, I'm pretty sure you will be wanting to get a great use out of it every now and then. Sometimes you don't have all the armour. Whip out a jacket and whatnot. If there's only so many of these to go around, I can't help but assume this might actually be doing very nicely. Now, do people appreciate the Black Gold collection? Well, for the majority of time, it has been in the positive. It's sold very nicely. I would assume yes. Now, with the recent Legacy Kevlar appearing, well, that kind of caused a bit of a problem. And, Pirate Collection last year. But people do appreciate it. It does get used quite a fair bit. And even now, where most skins right now, most skins on the Steam market starting to drop off a fair bit with the likes of the springtime. The usual trend where when it gets to springtime, we see a drop off in player count and we start to notice skin prices going down a fair bit. But once we roll into the likes of the summertime, well, loads of people have summer vacation. They play the game constantly and we get a lot of people playing the game. So, you understand the usual trend by now, I'm sure. So basically, with these still in the positive, fair play to them. They have gone down in price, but they're still holding up reasonably well. This seems to be in demand. People are actively still wanting to use the set. So looking at that and seeing this and comparing the sales with the likes of the core pieces, I can't help but assume this is already looking to be in a pretty sweet spot. But there's more. When we look at all the jackets, you might remember there's a certain notable expensive jacket, which is just down over here. It's selling for $12.60. It's the Blackout jacket. So, yeah. Blackout collection, people of course clearly like it a lot and whatnot, but can they afford it? So if that's selling for $12.60, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the likes of the Black Gold. Now I'll question you, at night time, is there much difference between both of them? Remember, night time, where it's already pitch black, that's still looking to be a much more affordable, much more approachable option. Yeah, you got the gold trim, fair enough, but again, night time, you basically can't see anything. And just get a little bit more edge, if you're going into areas with some slight lighting, yeah, you still come across as a fair bit dark. So you can, wrong thing. That's for afterwards. You could question that as much as you want, but if you can't afford everything in regards to Blackout collection, this is a perfectly fine option to choose from. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Legacy Kevlar jacket being made at some point. Oh no. So, for this, I'm looking at this with a fair bit of optimism. But there's another thing we should also point out. How many jackets do you reckon we might see this year? Because, we get good decent amount of them. Yeah, 3 a year, but we've already got 2 so far this year. Already got 2. Now again, maybe we'll see the likes of a Twitch drop. Who knows? Who knows? But with that, I'm looking at this and I'm considering, based on the sales it's had, based on, well, you know, it's a much more affordable option compared to the likes of Blackout, I think it's actually going to do quite all right. Will this ever dip below its rush store price? Easter is rolling in, and there's, you know, it is expected that many skins will still suffer. But if there's only so many of these to go around, I don't think it can suffer that much. And again, after spring's, you know, all said and done, then it's the summer. Then we start noticing many kids having their summer vacation. And do you think they're going outside? No, they're going to stay home playing Rust. Yay! And I just discussed this with chat. You should be aware, typically with a big fat update, I'm pretty sure Facepunch will be wanting to aim to get them out around the summertime, where they see a ton of people playing the game. Now, we know of many things that they talked about at the very beginning of this year, where they kind of had a bit of a roadmap saying, we want to introduce a new biome, we want to, you know, update some monuments and whatnot. I'm pretty sure many of those things will be rolled out in time for summer. So I can't help but assume we're still going to see a very nice high player count during the summertime. And again, it's expected, with many people playing the game, there's going to be an increase in demand for all the skins. Now, post-Christmas recently this year wasn't exactly super great. Understood. We know that. We talked about that many times. But if you can see the black gold jacket being in a pretty good spot, I'm pretty sure you'd notice that potentially that's looking to be a pretty nice investment right there. It did not sell that much, and I can't help but assume it's going to be doing reasonably well. To retain its value, I'm optimistic. But in terms of what buy order price mark we want to offer today, I'm going to sit here and say I think we could comfortably do maybe about $1.50 to $2.20. If you want to try and get this for a cheaper price, by all means, offer cheaper. But if you honestly think, you know what, there's too many positives with this, it seems like it's not going to suffer too badly, consider offering a stronger price. It's up to you. Go more aggressive. But who knows how things might be, you know, during Easter time. But I do look at this optimistically in the summertime, and I think it will be doing very nicely. It's the end of this year, though, as we roll into the likes of the autumn-fall seasonal dip. I can't see further ahead. I don't know if we're going to have more jacket skins being accepted. Then again, how many submissions do we normally get for a jacket skin? It's an every now and then type of situation, because, of course, I'm always keeping an eye on the likes of the workshop, aren't I? So with that, I think $1.50 to $2.20 should be a perfectly reasonable option. So we'll do the abnormal barders first, we'll look at the barder support afterwards, then we'll make a consideration, do I actually want to buy some of those? Alright then, let's now talk about the Thundergold AK47. So yeah, I actually kind of showed the image there, but we were discussing this just a little bit earlier. There is a nice, cool-looking, pearlescent white, shiny gold-trimmed AK-47 right there. If that came out during the summer, I would easily sit there and say, you know what, that'll probably do about 30,000 sales. Wouldn't even bat an eye. But it's come out this time, and it's only done 12,000 sales. When I first looked at that, I thought, you know what, that's probably going to do at least 20,000 sales. That'd be fine. It's only done 12. It has sold significantly less than what I was anticipating. Now, maybe it's the fact that we've got this listed at $3.49. Maybe it's due to the fact that, you know, it's still in a Rust store with 27 skins in total, where we still had the likes of that AK right there. And then again, this came out last week selling for $3.49 as well. So maybe people have already spent their AK budget. So, yeah. So, awkward timing for this AK. This did 24,000 sales. But over to here, this has only done 12. Now, I brought this point up earlier, and I'll bring it up again. Take a look at the most expensive AKs and just point out all the white AKs that you see. Playmaker, over $10. Comics AR, just under $8. We have the No Mercy AK-47, $6. Porcelain AK-47, $3.77. The Thundergold AK would be here about $3.50. We do have the likes of Doodle AK. It's a bit more black and whatnot, but that's sitting there at about $2. And then at some point down here, we have Arctic Skull, which is elsewhere. So the majority of the white AK-47s are in the positive and, well, fairly pricey. And when you actually look at how many of them are sold, so Playmaker, that only did 8,300, but came out in 2019. Understandable. Comics AR, well, that came out in 2021, and, well, that did 35,749 bare minimum sales. There are 3 times more of these in comparison to the likes of that. Yeah, now you kind of get it in your head, I'm sure. Then we have the No Mercy AK-47. That came out in 2019. That still did about 20,000 sales. That is almost double the amount of what we have of this. And the other one came out 2019. It's ridiculous, isn't it? So do you understand this? I don't think many people have bought this in excess. I don't think many people bought this with the pure intent to sell. And I can't help but assume this is very likely in a very strange yet sweet spot. And then we should also consider Thundergold collection is still active. You know, there's still a fairly decent chance we could see the hoodie and pants being accepted this month. Who knows? Maybe it gets accepted for the upcoming complete the sets if we are going to have one in May time. And we are aware that recently we have seen the likes of the custom SMG and the recent SAR skin have been submitted. It is active. There are more skins being produced for it, and I can't help but assume we very likely will be seeing more being accepted. So it's active, it's doing all right, and only 12,000 sales. So again, I look at this and I just think, how? But then again, big fat rush store. We've already just had an expensive AK, maybe, and less people playing compared to what we had at beginning of this year. So looking at that, I can't help but assume that's actually going to do a pretty good job retaining its value. I also have brought up many times that AKs in general don't tend to do very well. There's always another AK. Fair enough. But I don't think we're going to get an AK like that for a while. With this quality, white as well, and with the amount of sales that this has. So I'll show you pretty much all the skins from last year. Yep, get a good look at them. Unfortunately, didn't hold up very nicely, but one did. And that was the Kiss AR. Stands out very nicely, unique compared to all the other ones, doubled the price. And it's held that position pretty much ever since it was accepted. So I can't help but assume that very likely might be taking the spot for 2024. The one AK that will do all right. And yes, I know we've had other $3.49 AKs recently that didn't hold up very well, which is unfortunate. I understand. I know. But this is just a little bit more special based on there's only so many of them to go around. And if we do see those hoodie and pants being accepted at some point down the line, and don't forget, I do expect a version 2 at some point, I'm pretty sure people are going to be wanting to jump in and buy that. Now, yeah, if we do get Thundergold, getting a full collection, people will now have an alternative option instead of wanting to go ahead and buy the likes of the Whiteout collection. So I'm still optimistic for the hoodie and pants, whether it's going to be the version 1 or if we eventually see a version 2. Pretty sure we will see a full collection sometime. So as long as this remains being fairly pricey, people are going to want to look for alternative options. Okay. Oh, thank you for the raid, Amicus. Much appreciated. I'm just currently talking about skins at the moment. So, Thundergold AR, I'm looking at it. And I know a lot of people like to sit there and say, oh, Hedge, let's just do $1. No, I don't think it's going to be $1. I do not think that's going to be $1. I think that will be more special. More special compared to the likes of that golden AK the previous week. If we didn't get this accepted like this week, right? If that wasn't the AK accepted, I honestly think last week's Lunar New Year AK would have been faring a lot better. But this appeared, fair enough, cool. I think we can actually go pretty strong on this one, guys. I think you can do $2 to $3. $2 to $3. If you want to go more aggressive, by all means go for it. But even during the likes of Easter time, we do still have far too many potential positives. Again, more Thundergold skins on the horizon. That could give it a bit of a boost. So white AK, it's going to be desirable. You know, people with full whiteout sets will look around for options. You know, a Comics AR for $8, Playmaker $10. Ooh, well, you know what, that'll do. I'm pretty sure a lot of people appreciate that regardless. So $2 to $3. I think it's going to be doing pretty sweet. And again, it's worry less about Easter time and think more about summertime. All right, summertime. Loads of people play. Loads of kids with money. Loads of people want, loads of people desire. And the Thundergold collection is actually still doing reasonably okay. You know, if all skins in general are going down pretty hard at the moment, yes, some of it's dipped down a fair bit, understandable, but it's not dramatically down. It's only by a fair bit. Kilt's still holding up. Face mask is doing very nice. It's still doubled the price it was when it sold in the Rust store. So clearly people do appreciate this. And yes, whilst we might see some prices dipping here and there, certain skins are still doing all right. And I think this is still going to be fine from here on now. So it's up to you what you want to do, all right? But there's a lot of positives behind it. And personally, I actually might go ahead and buy a few. Yeah, I'm looking at this with some optimism. It's mainly due to the sheer lack of sales. It is mainly due to that. Yes, it is mainly due to that. So I'll reiterate the main focus, the main point, sheer lack of sales, white AK-47, and potential of more Thundergold skins on Horizon. So, yeah, okay, I've said more than enough, I'm sure. Let's move on. Polished Obsidian Furnace. We are getting a bit of a collection built up with this, but it's a fractured collection, because we got weapons on one side being called Blackstone, and we got other skins being called Polished Obsidian. Now, recently, as I just showed you, there was a large box, so we can go ahead and take a look at that real quickly. Yep, perfectly fine. You know, it's not a crazy looking design, but Facepunch seems to like it, and I wouldn't be surprised if that potentially gets accepted. I mean, it's a black box. Cool. So, yeah, more deplorables are potentially on the horizon and whatnot. But personally, I'm not optimistic with furnaces. I've said this so many times recently, and I'll stand by my point. I'm not optimistic for them. Most recently, we of course had the Lunar New Year furnace, or it's already down by 65%. It's already down by 65%. What happened to you? Where did it all go wrong? There's only 24 of them on the Steam market. Doesn't matter. There was no support. The price has gone down to $1. The price has gone down to $1. $2.49 skin, down to the $1. Now, again, yeah, that's still in the Rust store. Fair enough. But I don't think it's sold that much more. So, yeah, that crashed and burned very quickly. And I'm very sorry to say, but I can't help but assume the exact same thing's going to happen to this. Also, we're only, like almost 2 months in. We've already got 4 skins accepted. Do you think we'll see some Twitch drops at some point? Won't be surprised. Do you reckon we'll see even more skins being accepted in the future Rust store? Won't be surprised. Do you think we might potentially get a ton of furnaces like we did last year, where the vast majority of them will be in the negative? Wouldn't be surprised. So I look at that and I say, I don't even want to engage. Personally, I don't even want to engage. You want a price? 50 cents to 60 cents. Yeah. That's all I got. And I don't know if you think I want to do a buy order, because, yeah, if you were to buy these at 50 or 60 cents, the profits you could potentially make out of them probably isn't even worth it. And I'm not joking. So, yeah, I have no optimism for furnaces, and I'm very sorry to say that, but yeah, it's furnaces. Right, Happy Corn Door. Gentlemen, I don't know who wants this. I look at it and I say, that should have been like a Twitch drop or something. But what? I have no words. Chat, would anybody like to explain the obsession with corn? Do you like corn? Do you love corn? Do you want corn? Do you need corn? Do you need to get a little bit closer to corn? Do you want to get even more closer? No, closer. Stare at it. Caress it, love it, appreciate it, kiss it. It's your corn. Do you need it? Do you want it? Do you desire it? I don't think so. So, personally, I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't glow in the dark or anything. No, it doesn't. No. Yeah, no, it doesn't glow. No mention, no word. It's only done 8,000 sales. I don't know if that's going to hold up, but it is very... It's stupid. It's silly. It's mucky. It's weird. I don't know. So, like, chat, what do you reckon? I have no words. I don't know. Now, by default, Sheepman Adores, how are they currently holding up? Because last year, how many did we get? Come on, show me. Last year, we got 30 Sheepman Adores being accepted. I scroll down a little bit more, and what do we see? We got 28 Sheepman Adores being accepted. Do you understand the horrible situation that I assume will happen for 2024? Based on what we currently see, we already have 7 skins accepted. 7 Sheepman Adores have been accepted so far this year, and it's only been about 6-7 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if we see so many Sheepman Adores being accepted after this. Does that stand out enough? It does. You know, in all fairness, it does. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything like that being made and accepted at some point this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But is it enough? Do people look at it and say, haha, funny, I will have that? How long will that last? Will people still look at it and say, oh, yeah, no, that's cool, I'm going to buy that, I want that, I'll have it? I don't know. It doesn't glow, which, I mean, you know, most people would desire and want. Maybe people would like it for roleplay or something. Haha, I'm a farmer, I love corn. I can't get enough of it. I don't know. I'm very conflicted with this one. I just don't know. But then again, we'll look at all the other Sheepman Adores that came out this year. Down 40, down 42, down 68. What about last year? Down 41, down 64, down 20, down 1, down 64, down 34. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe it gets manipulated at some point. I don't know. I do not know. So I look at that and I'm going to sit there and say, all right, maybe we'll just do something like 50 to 70 cents. Maybe it is silly enough that it retains some value and does well. Because it's a $2 skin, but again, we saw many doors there that sold for higher prices and still went down lower. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I want to engage it. I'm not sure if I will be doing a bard for it. But then again, there's only 4 skins to chase after tonight. So, yeah, we'll see. But it'll be my least priority thing for sure. Right, so sorry for my lack of an answer there. But, yeah, I just can't tell what to think of it. But what we've just gone ahead and done is we just figured out prices for those 4 abnormals tonight. Now, you might have noticed I skipped ahead and didn't talk about the likes of the Chameleon Revolver and the Graffiti Love Double Door. Well, these aren't abnormal. They are regular skins. They will only appear when the Rust Door rotates tomorrow. So we kind of had to look at these a little bit differently and actually consider, do we actually want to go ahead and buy some of these? Because that's all we can do. We can't do an abnormal bard with these tonight. So look at this Chameleon Revolver. Number 1, it's part of a well-established collection, but unfortunately, Chameleon Collection has gone down a fair bit. Like most skins in general right now, they have dipped down in price. But for some of them, it's only down by like 10, 20%. They will turn around and improve and do better when it's the summertime. As expected, we are expecting a lot of people to return, a lot of people to be craving some skins. I do think these will work out right. But at the moment, quite a fair few of them are down in price. Even the recent SAP. But there's only 28 of these in the Steam market. This is why I say you can sit there and say as much as you want, oh, it's down in price. Well, you know what? There's only so many of them below, and then suddenly, after a few sales, it's suddenly in the positive again. Only 28. That's ridiculously low. If every skin on the Steam market, in regards to Rust, has about 100 quantity as an average, that's really low. So, anyway, based on that collection and the recent Revolver, which is probably the best thing to compare to, the Redemption Revolver, let's go ahead, see how this is currently performing, and, you know, get a good idea of, well, our Revolver's still reliable. So this has 105 quantity on the Steam market. That's about the average amount you would expect. Now, it's gone down in price a little bit. This sold for $2.49, the lowest listing, $2.32. Well, it's me, it's down in price, so no, shut up. If this is at its worst, I'm fine with that. I did sit here and say, will this go below its Rust Door price at any point, some point in the near future when this was in the Rust Door? I said, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it dips down at a certain point. Well, guess what? This is it dipping down. This sold for $2.50. It's now down to $2.32. Is this at its worst? I don't think so. But we still have all the support there. I don't think it's going to go lower. Or at the very least, it'll take quite a while for it to go lower. But, you know, once everything's all said and done, it's the summertime again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll rise back up again, and I'm pretty sure that'll do very nicely. So this did not sell that much. It only did like 11,000 sales. I go back over to here. This is currently sitting at just over 10,000 sales. So in regards to this Chameleon Revolver, I can't help but assume, will this go below its Rust Door price by a little bit? Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. But only a little bit. But will this end up doing a whole lot better around the summertime? Around the time where we will have those big fat updates out. Around the time where a lot of people out of curiosity will be wanting to jump in, play Rust, and, well, we'll end up with big fat numbers again. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. So I assume, and I believe, that's still looking to be a perfectly fine thing to consider buying if you so wish. But maybe you just want to stick with doing a buy order. Fair enough. We should also consider, how often are you using a Revolver? You will get to a point where you've got quite a lot of scrap in the early game, but you might want to consider, oh, do I want to make a tier 2 bench, or could I stick with my tier 1 bench and just use Revolvers instead, you know, because you might be pushing towards trying to get saps or something. Fair enough, but Revolvers do get usage. They are appreciated. Gun demand is there. Gun demand is reasonably strong. Therefore, there's demand for the skins. Therefore, the prices do hold up very well. Yes, certain skins have dipped down and, you know, below in price recently. We do see some red now. It's quite unfortunate. But it's down by 7. It's down by 5. It's down by 12. That's it. That's it. It's not like completely down. Well, that's 25, so that's a little bit different. But then again, there's only 17 of them on the Steam market. Again, always double check. See what... oh, yeah, it's a straggler. There you go. It's just like a couple of stragglers, and then it's $3 again. So yeah, always double check these things and just make sure everything lines up reasonably. You know, I could go ahead, well, I mean, you know, just look at the AKs again, you can see a clear difference. But that's more of a case of far too many skins being accepted. We only get like 3 a year, and I don't think many more will be accepted after this. So it's in a good spot. I think I will probably go buy a few. I will be doing a good buy order tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. This is a good rush store. These skins have not sold that much. A lot less than what I was assuming or expecting. So, all the better for them to go up in price. Yeah. So, when you look at the likes of that revolver, don't assume that's going to massively stonk. Don't assume it's massively going to go up to like $5 at one point. No, at best, it'll probably go up to maybe $3.50. Still good profit, but reliable. It's not expected to dip down in price that much. It is expected to retain its value. It very likely will do a decent boost in price at some point in the summer. But if that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what else to say. Is that more than enough words for you? Is that more than enough words for you? Fair enough. So, what you do with that information now, it's up to you. But I don't think it's sold enough to be that much of a problem. And I don't expect to see tons of them on the Steam market later down the line. So yeah, strong buy order. I will be doing that. But considering doing some purchases, probably yeah, I think I will. I did buy 50 redemption revolvers. I will see what I'll do. And then we have this right here, Graffiti Love Double Door. So I recently did make quite a fuss talking about the likes of double doors, and it seems to have, got around a fair bit. It's got over 1,000 views, almost 2,000. Wow, okay, where'd that come from? Cool, I'm not going to complain about that, but yeah. So in regards to this, I talked a lot. And I did come up with a conclusion in regards to, because we've had so many sheet metal double doors being accepted in like a 2-week span, yeah, 4 of these, all appeared within 2 weeks. Clearly it's had an effect on the very last one, because this has only done just under 6,000 sales. That is low. Too low. Now, if I were to just quickly point this out, the people behind this are actually trying to build up a deplorable collection, because we did see the likes of this single sheet metal door being produced this past weekend. So we potentially might see Graffiti Love turn into a set. Maybe, we shall see. I assumed the double door was a Valentine skin that somehow accidentally was put in the next top picks list. Who knows? We shall see. But if that does get accepted and we start seeing some Graffiti Love deplorables being made in a collection, all the better for the double door. I wouldn't definitely assume that. Now, in general, with double doors, we used to hardly see any of them. Now we've seen quite a lot of them. But if we don't see any more after this, all right, no, that actually would work out quite all right. So, and quote, I'll answer that in a second. In regards to this Graffiti Love double door, because it sold hardly anything, and I mean literally hardly anything, and it's at the cheapest possible price for a deplorable skin, $1.49, I can't help but assume that actually might still do perfectly fine. Yes, there are other options, and you know what? A lot of people might say, there's a lot better options. Fair enough, cool. But if you're looking at something, and you were hoping, you were desperate to consider buying something that would at least retain its value, and reliably do so, if we do not see many other double doors appearing this year, more specifically sheet metal double doors, that actually looks like it could comfortably rise up in price. Now I will bring up last year's deep sea double door from last year, because that also sold for $1.49. Right, this sold for $1.49, and that did 26,000 bare minimum sales. There was, you're looking at about 5 times more of these compared to that, and that looks ugly. And I don't want to say I'm mean, but for all intents and purposes, this was supposed to look ugly, because it's supposed to look as if it's been underwater for many, many years. It's all like grimy, got barnacles all over it. There's a theme to it, so I respect that. But in general, I looked at that and I thought, I don't think people are going to be appreciating that. Well, we don't see many marketable double doors, or at least back then, last year, and that still rose up in price, and it went all the way up to about $2.50 at one point. $1.49 to $2.50. There's 5 times more of these. Okay, so I feel like I've established that more than enough. Now, the double door here, for what it is, it's perfectly fine. There's no issues, there's no problems. Does look glow in the dark, though. There's that one catch there. But in terms of a very nice, cool-looking graffiti design, fair enough. It looks cool. I think Henrietta Maloyko did a very good job at this. Fair enough. But is it enough for you? Does that sound enough for you? Does that sound appealing to you? Now, I've said this many times in the past, and we'll say it again. You have to be prepared that certain skins can be manipulated. And the fact that we've had a lot of skins this week, hardly sell anything, definitely leads me to assume something here at some point down the line later this year very likely could be manipulated. It could be the double door. It could be the single corn door. It could be the furnace. Who knows? But they all sold low. And that leaves them to be vulnerable to potentially being attacked, bought out, and, well, inflated to a higher value at some point later down the line. Wouldn't be surprised. So, overall, looking at this whole thing, looking at that double door right there, I think I actually might just stick with doing like a $1 to $1.30 buy order. Yeah, I actually might go ahead and consider buying some of those as well. It would be... well, based on what we've seen recently, a lot of people might say you're mad to do that. Well, I'll be honest with you, I just can't really see it. Struggling. I think it actually will do a very good job and potentially going up in price a fair bit. Will it go to a ridiculous price? No. I don't assume that, no. But I can see it working out very nicely. And hey, if you've got multiple accounts and you want to buy something that will likely retain value, and then you could, trade it over to the other account, and, if you just so happen to want to sell it on that account and, get all the funds in that account there, that looks like a perfectly fine thing right there to consider doing that. So, yes, in terms of that $1 to $1.30, I don't think I provided a price for the revolver. Sorry about that, Mr. Maxim. So, in regards to the revolver, I think I'll be doing between $1.30 to $1.80. Yeah, that'll be my answer. $1.30 to $1.80, Mr. Maxim. That's the answer for the revolver. Alright then, so we've basically said everything. Quote, I see your question there. Let me just talk about the other things first, and then I'll proceed to talk about that. So we could just quickly go through the Valentine skins real quickly. So last night, of course, we had our special Valentine's abnormals, and here's a quick update for all of them. So there were a few more buy orders, as you can see, with the likes of Lava Giorgio. He's added a few more right here. Very nice, very cool. Then we have the likes of the Neon Double Door right here. Well, that's got buy orders pushing up to $2 now, and the lowest listing is $3.60. So that's looking a little bit more optimistic. Very nice to see. So maybe that actually will also do a fairly decent job in retaining its value. Then we also look at the likes of the Love Arrow Metal Door. The cheapest listing, $3.60. There's only 3 listings. Now, the buy orders slowly starting to build up a little bit more. So last night, I think we just missed out on $2. Now it's starting to build up to $2.50. Again, that's just one. Fair enough. But it's starting. All right. So keep an eye on this, because again, it might not be like an instant thing where you can notice things like this, but it will slowly build up. And I'm still under the assumption that's going to still work out very nicely. It's a queen door, and it glows in the dark. She glows. Moving on. Crazy Love set. I looked at this and I said, I don't think it's going to be like a 70 cent to 90 cent situation. It's unique colour for a set. People do appreciate sending love with their beaming power. But yeah, I said maybe we could probably push up to about $1.20, and yeah, that's what we did, and that's where it's currently sitting at. So will this crash and burn? I don't think so, but I do still expect it to dip in price a fair bit. We shall see, but the lowest listing, only $3. The Valentine's gift sleeping bag, yep, this has got very low sales as well, very low listings still. But the barders, again, still only gone up to 75 cents. No one else has gone higher, so maybe that won't hold up very nicely, unfortunately. Okay, so in regards to the Shining Love box, this has slowly started to build up a little bit more. So we had buy orders only around $1, but now it's starting to climb up a little bit more. Very nice, very cool. So again, people do appreciate a very straightforward glow-in-the-dark small box. Very useful for the early game. If you can't see around your base, glow-in-the-dark deplorables are going to help out a fair lot. Yeah, quite a lot. So it very likely will be getting some appreciation. Didn't sell that much. Could still work out quite all right. Then we got the likes of the Lovestruck gloves and boots, and yes, these did get more buy orders. So more people have jumped in. Lowest listing, $2. Guys, I do stand by my point. I think the gloves and the boots did sell far too little compared to the rest of the set, and I do think they are going to work out very nicely because of that. We have a full collection of Lovestruck. It's right over here. And if, people feel like, you know what, for a fairly cheap price, I can go around dress up in pink, fair enough. $17 for the full set. Is it always going to be like that? Or will things change around the summertime? We shall see. But they did have a bit of a boost for the recent Valentines. I do believe that these will start to go down in price a fair bit soon. So, yeah, that normally happens anyway. So, yeah, that's the current situation with those skins. And, well, it's up to you guys. They did not get rotated out today. You have plenty of time to look at these. You have plenty of time to consider what you want to do with them. All right. Okay, so with that, we can also quickly discuss what potentially could be accepted tomorrow. So, of course, we do have the new TGG's top picks list. That German guy has gone ahead and produced a new list, which you can see right here. And there are some very interesting candidates that could be picked for tomorrow's Rush Door. So make sure you go ahead and take a look at all of this. Consider watching the video as well. Loads of interesting continuations. Loads of interesting, very artistic, wonderful-looking pieces. Oh, yes, indeed. Exquisite stuff. But who knows what potentially could be a pick tomorrow. Who knows? We might get some late picks. Mr. Rock! Mr. Pet Rock, that is. Oh, yes. And a penguin. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like Abyss Hunting Bow. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Chameleon Double Barrel Shotgun. There's loads of interesting things there. Comic Sap would be a very interesting skin to see being accepted. Thundergold Custom SMG, we mentioned that earlier. So, loads of interesting things all being listed there. But, guys, it's not just the skins that you see in the top picks list. No. Sometimes we get quite a lot of early picks. This is why I bring up the Rust Workshop skin checks. Yes, of course. Over the past weekend and as of Monday, we saw over 100 brand new skins being submitted to the workshop, and there was a lot of very interesting continuations. As we can see over here, Neon Vibes Armored Double Door. We did not get a sheet metal double door this week. We got an armored double door. We have Neon Vibes Armored Double Door, and if you understand the trend with armored double doors, we only get like one accepted a year. Could that be Neon Vibes? Could Neon Vibes grow as a collection? We shall find out. But maybe Face Punch might be on a bit of a wacky ride and think, you know what? Let's just go add some more double doors. Well, that at least is armoured, not sheet metal, armoured. So I think a lot of people would appreciate something like that. That'd be cool, that'd be cool. And then you got like Banana Tools, Inflatable Hammer. You got the likes of, what else do we have here? Frosty Thompson. Frosty Collection's been inactive for about a year and a half. Now it's back with the Thompson there. Thundergold Saw. Scroll down a little bit more. Bismuth AK47. Skullforce AK47. Hemp Boonie Hat and Poncho. Frog Clothing. Chat. Frog Clothing. To go with your booties. Chat. Your booties. Look at this. Your little frog boots. Yep, booties. Where are they? Here we are. Ha The perfect combination. This is what we need, people. This is what we need. So, yeah, if you got your frog boots, a perfect little combination there. And could we potentially see a deer skull mask being accepted? Are we going to be MF Doom? Or are we going to be ritualistic, crazy-looking people? Curse Collection's looking very good, as is the hardsuit one. So, yeah, loads of interesting skins potentially on the horizon. Cheese, hoodie and pants, Damascus boots and gloves. We've also got Cactus Tier 2, Cyber Armor Tier 2, and a whole bunch of Tier 3 armor. If you want to be up to date with that, please consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks video right here. I go through all of the skins, and if you just want to skip ahead to a specific collection continuation, I do provide chapters all listed right there. So, you know, choice is yours. Okay, so I do believe that's everything that needs to be said for the abnormal video. So what we're going to do is we'll skip ahead and we will just, you know, actually go ahead and do the bar orders, and then we'll discuss afterwards the bar order support and see where those skins end up. And are they going to look like perfectly fine things to consider buying? So that... Right then, people, just over a minute to go with the abnormal bar orders, but I didn't talk much about the Neon Dragon Garage Door. So, of course, last week this became marketable, didn't it? And for the first 24 hours on that Thursday, because, yeah, midnight in the UK, it was Thursday when this first appeared, over 100 of these sold. And all the people that bought it, I know for sure, the vast majority of them were very likely people trying to do a flip, as in they bought it hoping to be able to sell it for a much higher price down the line. Well, this is where it currently stands right now, and I can't help but assume, with that 7-day cooldown about to finish for all those people that bought it last Thursday, those 100 plus skins that sold on that day, you're very likely going to see all these barders disappear. Oh, yes, you will. So get a good look at that. We will look at that again in a bit. But for now, we need to get ourselves nice and readily prepared with the abnormal buy orders. Thundergold AK47 will be appearing in, hopefully, 20 seconds' time. Now, how botted do you reckon this will be? 10,000 sales, 20,000 sales, 100,000. No, nothing like that. But yeah, it's very likely going to get botted. Wouldn't be surprised. It's always going to be botted. The interesting ones usually do. And now it is midnight. 0000 000. The amount of AKs I'm going to get, 9,707. What the hell? So that happened. 9,770 of those just appeared. Wow. Bit much. Corn. Furnace. Right, over to here we go, and round 2. Right, cool, loads of buy orders, great. Alright, wow, we're putting down some big money for this, aren't we? Right, for you, looking at that. All the other buy orders, looking at those. Go on then, let's go for it. I'll do 40. I'm going to go for the $2 buy order. I'm brave. Are you, chat? Probably not. And corn has decided to disappear. Right, if anything, you know what? I'll probably skip ahead now. We'll look at the buy order support afterwards, and we'll figure out if everything's looking good to consider buying. So with that, right, gentlemen, we're back. So it's been about 31 minutes. We were waiting for one particular skin to appear on the Steam market, but they've now all appeared. So if I were to just quickly go over to here, we can start taking a look at the barter support. We can start discussing, do we want to actually go ahead and start, maybe buying some skins? So, with the Thundergold AK47, we've got 11,000 buy orders, but I should point out, yep, 9,000 botted buy orders right there. So, yep. That happened. It was unfortunate, but we were basically expecting it. That was like a given. We knew that was going to happen. But aside from that, we still got like 2,000 buy orders. So as you can scroll up, you can see plenty of buy orders pushing all the way up to like $1.50, all the way up to $2. Cools off a fair bit. Then it kind of builds up at around $2.60, pushing up to $3. So, looking at the state of that, and after talking about everything there, what do you think in regards to this skin? Because again, I can't help but assume, with the sheer lack of sales that it has, that it looks perfectly fine to me to consider jumping into it. And I am considering it very much so. Once again, with only 12,000 sales, which we can show off to you around here, by tomorrow, maybe it does about 13. Even then, still very low. Some point down the line, do you not think that particular skin might potentially be going up in price quite nicely? It's got decent barter support already. This is not going to be behaving like a normal AK-47. And it does have the support pushing up to the higher price. So, will this all dip in price at any point over the course of the next few weeks? Next couple months? 2 months, I'd say. Yeah, okay, that very likely could happen. Wouldn't be surprised by that. But as time progresses, we dabble into the likes of the summertime and whatnot. Could we potentially see the skin really start to get some attention? And again, who knows? Maybe we'll see a whole lot more Thundergold weapons being accepted. We know they are being submitted. Who knows? We very likely could be seeing the hoodie and pants being accepted at some point down the line. That would be very nice as well. So that means the Thundergold collection will be getting a lot of attention then. That means the AK very likely will get a lot more eyes on it. I can't help but assume it's just in too much of a good position to say no to considering buying some. So I very likely will be... I'm going to go buy some. I think I will. Yeah, I feel confident in doing so. The support is very reasonable. But even then, yeah, kind of wouldn't be too surprised if it does dip a bit. But I know this dip only lasts for a while, and then, of course, summertime rolls in. And we would expect most skin prices for a summer peak. That'll probably happen around August time. So we'll have very good player counts and whatnot. And then, of course, eventually we will have the autumn fall seasonal dip. That happens every single year. So I don't know how that might end up at around autumn time, full season. But at the very least, we can see how high it goes during the summer and make considerations if you want to sell around then, knowing that the price of this very likely will go down during that period of time, as we would normally know. So for that, if you're looking for something to buy, that definitely is a consideration. And yes, it's pushing up to $3. We do have a few more going all the way up to about almost $3.50. It seems reasonably okay. Now, if you're not super confident in it, don't buy a ton. Just buy a few. See what happens. But we'll see, all right? So, yeah, the support is reasonably there, but it's a much more higher priced skin. But we'll find out. Moving on, we do have the likes of the Black Gold Jacket right here. So, yeah, Black Gold Jacket pushing up to $2. $2.50 skin. But, yeah, it's fine. There's no issues. There's no problems. Will this dip below its restore price? We did discuss that. We expected that. Hence why we have the $2 price right here. So if this does hold up quite nicely and does do well in the future, yeah, I mean, it's going to probably do very good rising up in price. But it does have a lot of support. So 8,000 of the buy orders are botted, so we'll put those aside. Plenty of buy orders pushing above $1. Plenty of buy orders pushing up to $1.50 and above, pushing all the way up to $2. This looks like it's going to do a very decent job in retaining most of its value for the foreseeable future. Like I said, with the upcoming spring dip, well, technically speaking, I guess we could say we're already in it. The prices are expected to go down a little bit more, but after that, as I said, summertime, will that be getting a lot more appreciation? And with the amount of sales that we have, which is, again, very low for what we're expecting, could everything turn around and improve and do very nicely for it afterwards? We shall see. So, in regards to, if I were to sit here and say, I have to buy something from these skins, which is most likely going to do the best in terms of retaining its value, I would probably still sit here and say you could just probably put down a $2.20 buy order, and you very likely will be picking those up for $2.20 at some point. Wouldn't be too surprised. It's just, will this hold up all right? Will this survive? Is there enough of them where people have bought these in excess, and, well, will we end up seeing a lot of these on the Steam market? I don't think we're going to see a ton. But it only takes like one individual to list like 100 or 200 of them, and then suddenly the skin goes a bit awkward. So yeah, bit awkward. So you could just stick with doing a buy order. You could probably proceed and buy a few of them. We'll see. But yeah, if you're not super confident in it, just don't buy that many. Or just stick with doing buy orders. It's the smarter approach. Now, the other skins, we've got Happy Corn Door here. Well, do you have $108 spare? Yeah, this didn't sell insanely. There's only so many of them that can be listed. And, well, the barter support, yeah, that's there. Yep, that certainly is barter support. That's definitely pushing all the way up to $108, right? No. So, barter's only pushed up to 70 cents. I don't think this is actually going to be retaining its value. However, maybe everyone who owns the skin refuses to sell it for less than $100. Or list it, at the very least, list it. So maybe it ends up appearing to be $100. Okay, it's worth at least 200. No, Joseph, no. You're the one who listed them. Shut up. Then we had the likes of the polished obsidian furnace. I didn't even bother going for it. So, this took like 20 minutes to appear. And, yeah, bulk of the barter seems to be around 60 cents. Goes all the way up to there. Well, I don't think it's going to retain its value at all. No, $2 skin. Barter's only really pushing up to about 60 cents. Nah. This one here, barter's only pushing up to about 70 cents for a $2 skin. Yeah, nah, that's not holding up. But these two, they are reasonably close enough where you could consider wanting to buy them. Now, if you're watching this on the Thursday, go look at them now. Go see if they have more buy orders and start thinking, maybe I should, maybe I won't. It's up to you. You're the one who makes up the final decision. But I'm looking at both of these and thinking they are in reasonably good positions. And I am considering buying a few. I've already bought a few of these already, but yeah, I think I'll be buying some more. me, not you, me. So don't just copy me, all right? Think about it. Think about your own budget. Think about how much money you have, and if it's worth, well, in most cases, is it worth the risk? So yeah. So I do acknowledge over the next few weeks, prices are expected to still go down a fair bit, but some skins still should potentially do reasonably well. So I do have to bring up the likes of the Chameleon Revolver again and the Graffiti Love Double Door. I am also considering buying a few of these as well, but maybe not a ton, but just a few, just to see what happens. Like, I can put some money away here and there, that's fine, I've got no issue with that. But, yeah, who knows what might potentially happen. But I can sit here and say, once again, these skins did not sell that much, and I can't help but assume, later down the line, some of them are going to prosper very nicely because of that fact. So, we shall see. This has only done 5,800 sales so far, and that's incredibly low. And I just want to do a real quick comparison, and based on subscriber count, so bare minimum sales subscriber count. If we could just take a look at that real quickly, we will see that that's actually in the lower half. This is a 2024 skin, yeah? The average player count that we see every day is probably 3 or 4 times as much as 2019, and yet we got a skin right here only doing just about 6,000 sales. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's why I think surely that would work out alright, but there has to be at least some demand for it. But maybe that might not happen, maybe it will, I don't know. But double doors, again, That's effectively the cheapest one now, I believe. And I think that will do some reasonable sales because of that. Therefore, I think it'll still work out quite all right. So, yeah, both of these are still looking perfectly fine to consider buying. But in short, you could just stick with doing a relatively reasonable buy order. We already talked about that earlier in terms of prices. $1.30 to about $1.80 for the revolver, and for that $1 to $1.30 for the double door. That's what was my price suggestion. But yeah, we'll see what happens next. So yeah, I know I'm very 50-50 at the moment for mostly everything, but I've been caught out pretty bad with a lot of skins, because when we go through like the bad times, well, if you don't keep an eye on your buy orders, and that's another thing that we had to bring up. If you don't keep an eye on your buy orders, you're going to get some random purchases at the moment. So go through all your recent buy orders that you might have done and just double check. Just make sure. Okay, is this holding up still? Is that all right? Is that fine? I've got a £1.58 buy order there. Let's go see what this is in terms of where does it stand amongst all of these other skins. I believe I am... Yeah, I'm right there. So I am still in a perfectly reasonable spot because that's where most of the buy orders were. I did anticipate this would dip a fair bit, and we did discuss that a little bit earlier, so I'm still fine with that, and I very likely will be perfectly fine to engage this with a reasonable price as well. So it is what it is. That's it. That's basically it. So chat, is there anything that you want to bring up? So Keycast, we're not doing that at the moment. So Cecast, sorry. With that, I think we're all done. So with tomorrow, I don't expect an early roster rotation. Who knows what we'll see. But there is nothing really happening tomorrow. There's no update. And we're not getting an update for another 2 weeks. So do be prepared for that. 2 weeks. We're waiting for quite a fair bit. But with the things being mentioned in the commits, there seems to be some interesting details and some interesting things potentially on the horizon coming out for the March update. Okay, so let's find out what skins will be accepted tomorrow. What do you reckon? Do consider looking at TGG's top picks list, get a good look at this, get a good look at all the skins in there, and also consider looking at the likes of my Rust Workshop skin checks, as you can see here, of all the newest skins that are submitted over the past weekend and as of Monday. Get a good look at all of that, and if you really want to, consider looking at the likes of my, we can talk about that in a second, my YouTube. Consider watching the actual video, because as I said, you can just skip straight ahead to all the collection continuations. All you got to do is, well, let me just mute this, and hey, let's go take a look at Thundergold SAR, for example. And wow, it's the Thundergold SAR. Wow, that was nice and easy, wasn't it? So yeah, the option's there. And yeah, okay, we can talk about the Neon Dragon Garage Door, can't we? So Neon Dragon Garage Door, I was a little bit hesitant in regards to what was going to happen with this, but it wasn't that bad, but it still could potentially go lower. So what happened? Only the top few immediately got sold to. So you might notice if we quickly hop back over to here, we have buy orders pushing up to about $140, and they all basically got wiped off. So yeah, we've cut off about 5+ listings. There was a cheaper listing here as well. I think that was removed as well. But the main point is when we get some Europeans tomorrow, for example, noticing that they can list theirs now, are they going to sell to these high buy orders? And then is the highest buy order only going to be $88? And is that price going to hold? Probably not. So yeah, that's probably going to start dropping off from here on now. It had a lot of hype initially. Will that hype persist? I don't think so. I do not think so. And I don't think those prices will hold. So, all right then. That's it. Yep. Okay. So, that's it. That's everything. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the rambling. Oh, I do it a lot, don't I? But yeah, just keep an eye out. Keep an eye on the, the workshop and whatnot, and we'll see what potentially gets accepted for tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be wacky. Maybe it's going to be calm. Well, I hope there's at least a lot more than just the 6 skins that we got here. But don't forget, of course, we had like Valentine's and whatnot piling all up. But yeah, we'll see what appears tomorrow. I will be streaming. I will be sitting here on Twitch. Look in the description of the video to see the links to all my socials. And I'll be sitting there discussing all the new skins that appear tomorrow. And we'll see if anything could potentially be a nice investment. Or if it potentially builds up to a collection getting, a little bit more attention and whatnot. So with that, once again, thank you very much for watching. Catch you later. See you. Goodbye.